Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about curly cuts and basically why you would feel like you got a curly cut or you invested in a curly cut and it just was not right for you and it just didn't meet your expectations. These can definitely be the reasons why. Of course, sometimes the hairstylist is just not for you and the type of cut is just not for you, which is understandable, but I'm going to list some reasons that you should take into consideration when you're thinking about your next curly cut or you got a curly cut and you kind of are not feeling it. So if you would like to know these reasons, just keep watching. Okay, so my first reason, this I feel like is the most common reason. I feel like a lot of people get curly haircuts and they have these certain expectations that are not going to be achieved. Like, it's impossible, like it's not gonna happen. I'll have clients come in with this type of hair and they show me this as their goal picture. And this is just the first part of unrealistic expectations. I'm really gonna dive deep into this reason. So when you have inspiration pictures for your haircut, you want someone that has the same density as you or looks to have the same density as you, the same hair type, and what you want to look for as well is if the hair curls from the root or not. A lot of people will bring in pictures, inspo pictures that are just not similar to their hair at all, and it kind of makes me as a stylist feel like, okay, like, can I really give you what you want? Because what you want is like literally impossible. For many reasons, inspo pictures can be a good or a bad thing, because a lot of times people look at a picture and they don't really see what the hairstylist sees. They just see curly hair, shape, and length. Sometimes they don't even see shape and length because someone will come in with really short hair and show me an inspo picture of someone with really long hair, and I'm like, so to avoid that disappointment, look for inspiration that really aligns with the hair you already have. Some of my clients even show me as their inspo pictures, but I do get a lot of volume. It's just because my hair curls at the root. You can kind of see my hair sticks up first and then falls, and for that reason I do get a lot of volume. But someone may have similar curls to me, they might not get the same result because their hair doesn't curl at the root. So that's just a minor example of how inspo pictures can be a bad thing. So if you are looking for inspo pictures, look for someone that has the same hair type as you, that looks to have the same density, and make sure you check, does their hair curl at the root or not? Another reason why you might not like your haircut because of unrealistic expectations is you might have really damaged hair and expect it to be fixed in one session, and that's not gonna happen. And thank God that I have clients who are patient and willing to go on the transitioning journey together. But I have had clients come in with damaged hair and them telling me, I got a curly cut and I hated it. And I'm like, well, what didn't you like about it? It just wasn't what I wanted. And I'm like, yeah, but your hair is fried. So you have to keep in mind, if you're transitioning, you're transitioning. Like, it's not gonna happen in one session. It's not. You just have to be patient. The next reason that I feel like some curly cuts don't work for people is when hairstylists do not have more than one method of cutting curly hair. As a hairstylist, I have more than one method for cutting hair. I probably have more than 3 methods of cutting curly hair, just because everyone's hair is so different. That's like saying you can use the same exact products on everyone. You can't. Everyone's hair is so different that sometimes you really just have to customize the service just for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if your stylist has only one method of cutting, if she does only dry cuts, it might not work for you because you might need a wet cut. Or if the stylist does only wet cuts, it might not work for you because you need a dry cut. There just has to be different methods. And also, I feel like different methods are super important when it comes to shaping, because there's so many different curly shapes that you can really make. And if you only have one technique, you might not be able to even reach all those different types of shapes that your clients want. So keep in mind when you're looking for a stylist, what are their methods? Let them tell you their methods. Check on their profile first before you hit them up. But let them tell you their methods, see what they can do, and go from there. Another reason why I feel like curly cuts do not work is stylists may not know how to work with all curl types. I, for one, do. I know how to work with every curl type. Whatever curl type you have, I can cut. But some people don't know how to do that. And actually, in the beginning of my career, I did not know how to cut wavy hair. Like, I would get scared that it would just be choppy, like it just wasn't gonna work. And I still kind of get that pit in my stomach when I have wavy clients, which is rare. But as a stylist, I also learned that I needed to learn. I needed to learn how to do all hair types, because if I don't, then it's not fair. How can I only cater to one type of curl if I'm a curly specialist? You know what I mean? I don't want to talk too much into that because I feel like it sounds like I'm talking crap about other stylists, even though I'm not saying anyone specific. I don't know, whatever. The next reason your curly cut might not have worked is because you might have hair shock. I've had hair shock a couple times. For me, hair shock happens when you get cuts too often or your hair was not ready for a haircut. At least in my case, that's what's personally happened to me. Or if you waited too long to get a haircut. In my case, that's what's happened to me. Hair shock is super common, and basically what it is, it's kind of like after you cut your hair, whether it's a trim, whether you cut a lot, whatever, your hair kind of gets shocked and it's like, okay, like I'm not used to sitting like this. Like literally your hair has memory, your curls have memory. So when it gets shocked like that, it may not curl how you want, it may not hold a curl. The curls they kind of come off like over moisturized, like they're just not bouncy, they have no elasticity, they have no hold, they might not be holding up the products the right way. That really can all just be because of hair shock, and usually it goes away like after a week or two. Usually after 2 washes, that's when your hair is like back to normal. So it's super common. Don't think just because it happens right after a curly cut that the cut is not for you. Eventually you'll see after you keep washing your hair like, oh wait, this does work, you know. Another reason why a curly cut might not work for you is because you waited too long to cut your hair. People wait longer to cut their hair to make it grow, but a lot of times it can have a reverse effect if you're not keeping your hair healthy, if you're not doing the right at-home maintenance, if you're not taking really good care of your hair. Waiting too long for a haircut is not ideal because you'll have to cut off more than what you want. You're more than likely gonna have to cut off more than what you want. I know everybody knows, or everybody says, yes, when the split ends happens, they keep splitting up and up and up and up. But with curly hair, what happens is fairy knots. Fairy knots are no joke. Like, they will mess up your whole curl, and I always get fairy knots whenever I need a cut at the ends of my hair. Like, I'll start getting like little tiny knots like right there. They look like a literal cherry knot, like, yeah, like an actual knot at the ends of your hair. And I know it happens to a lot of people, but it literally stunts the hair's growth because your hair is tied there. So it creates a lot of uneven ends on your hair, a lot of split ends, and it's definitely a sign that you need a cut. But if you keep letting those knots accumulate, you're gonna have to cut them all off. So if you have this much hair worth of fairy knots and you were expecting to cut this much, do you see where I'm going with this? Like, don't wait so long to cut your hair because you're scared of losing length, because you're gonna end up losing more length in the long run. The last reason I would say a curly cut did not work for you is because you don't need a curly cut. I've had clients that, no shade to the wavy community, but they were having, like, they would have wavy hair that was basically straight, and I want a curly cut. That's not gonna change the texture of your hair. No cut can change the texture of your hair. The texture of your hair is the texture of your hair, and that's that. So if you have wavy hair and you're expecting to get a curly cut and have curly hair, it's not gonna work. That's not how it goes. So yeah, sometimes you actually don't need a curly cut, and it's not gonna make a difference for you. And no matter how many cuts you get, no matter how many different stylists you go to, it's not gonna make a difference. And that's why whenever I have clients that come in and they're like, this is like my 7th curly cut, like literal 7th curly cut, I went to this person, this person, this person, that one, and it didn't work, I'm like, no, this is literally a red flag. Like, this is a red flag, because I know I'm gonna be added onto the list, because I know you're going for something that's not gonna, it's not achievable, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, so I hope I explained everything correctly in this video. I hope you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from, and I'm speaking as a stylist and as a client. Hopefully you guys can relate. If you have any other reasons why your curly cut did not work for you, just comment down below because I would love to hear. I'm so open to knowing more of these things because I feel like it makes me a better stylist too. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, thank you for watching. Peace out.